Salute. Now, you guys can see Stephen A. Smith had some challenging things, or for my liking, I'll say some contradicting things to say about Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffs. I'm going to give you guys different clips. I'm going to make it, just a small, straight to the point with just a small speck of a guy like Stephen A. Smith, in my personal opinion. Either way, you guys new to the channel, go down right now and hit that like button right now if you guys seen what happened today with Stephen A. Smith and think it was some contradiction in it. Make sure y'all subscribe right now. Turn that post notification bell on to all. And I ain't going to waste much time, man. I'm going to start jumping into some clips where you guys can see Stephen A. Smith was seemingly riding the Coach Prime wave last season. In a minute, he think Coach Prime, facing some adversity or things are kind of energy is changing towards Coach Prime. Now you see him on national TV challenging different things that I personally think either he's misinformed or didn't take his time and did his due diligence to see what's really going on with the Sean Keeler entire situation. Now, me personally, I don't think that Coach Prime came any way negative towards Sean Keeler, and he also opened the door for conversation with Sean Keeler, and Sean Keeler refused it to the point and they came back and wrote another disrespectful article, taking again personal shots at Coach Prime, until ultimately the Colorado Buffs said they didn't want to do any more questions or interviews from that guy in particular. Let's get into some of the clips here.
Why? What did I do?
You didn't do anything. It's not about this. Is football. It's not about me.
But what happened to get you like this?
It's a good question.
No, I'm serious. I'm asking why. Like why? What did I do?
You didn't do anything. It's not about this. Is
But
football. It's not about me.
But what happened to get you like this?
It's a good question.
No, I'm serious.
Even despite where you guys can clearly see Coach Prime came with respect, Stephen A. Smith had some things to say about Deion Sanders, and I'm going to give you guys a clip
as well. TCU was the national runner-up the year before. Colorado opens the season in the primetime Deion Sanders era. You beat them. And what did you do post-conference? Do you believe? Do you believe? And he kept asking that question, and he wanted to hear the reporter say, do you believe? And then he shoot him off. It's evidence where you've gone against the media. There is evidence when you've been negative towards the media because they've been negative towards you. Maybe not as the head coach in Colorado, but as a player you were that way. Over the years you were that way. Last year when you beat TCU, when you were shooing folks off, you were that way. You can't then turn around because of a columnist who's been considered somebody, I don't know Mr. Keeler at all. I don't know much about his work. Sean Keeler for the Denver Post. I'm not casting any aspersions on him, but there are people in the media out there that said he has been hypercritical and he has been accused of being a shock jock, et cetera, et cetera. If anybody's supposed to know how to deal with that, it's supposed to be Prime.
Okay, so if you are admittedly unknown about the history of a Sean Keeler when it comes to Coach Prime, to me, I find it odd that you're even going on national TV speaking against Coach Prime in a situation that, if I'm not mistaken, you guys can roll the clip back. He just said he's not really, he don't really know the background of a Sean Keeler. He heard he's a shock jock. So that means you haven't did your due diligence to see the homework of a Sean Keeler. Well, let's dig into a little bit of Sean Keeler. I'm going to give you guys a little bit, some small readings of Sean Keeler to give Stephen A. more of an idea of who we dealing with on a personal attack level that's outside of football. And these are the same thing that Coach Prime spoke about. When you're a coach and you're you coaching the game, you're calling the game, you're recruiting, that's cool to critique him in that manner. When he was asking you, do you believe, he was talking about the sports. He wasn't digging into the reporters, personal life, etc. Let's get into some of the things that Sean Keeler had to say, and then we're going to get a little bit further. Now, you guys can see. Now, he said a 4-8 coach gave a 3-9 news conference. This was deposition Deion, a cornered and condescending man victim who ain't got time for mere mortals. That's just one of the things. Now, continuing on, he says, Prime at the table became Deion on the witness stand. The one from the tell-all books and magazine stores, usually out of Texas, where bridges have been burned, yelling at everyone. Now, this is not football, what he named here. Deposition Deion. Listen closer. A few minutes later, the microphone went to me and deposition Deion pounced again. Listen what he's saying. These are not football things here. You guys can see he's taking plenty of shots. He calling him deposition Deion. If you guys know the story, this is some things that's spinning off of Shiloh Sanders, Deion Sanders' son, and the situation he had going on. Not only that, move that to the side there. We're going to get this to you too, Stephen A. Smith, so we can just wake you up. Steve Spurrier, who is beloved as a great coach, has some similar things to say about reporters that he didn't want to speak to. Let's get into it.
As all of you know, we got a negative guy over here that tries to hurt our football program. And then I've learned that since he sits in on all these meetings, it's basically I'm helping him to contribute writing negative stuff about our football program. Simple as that. So I'm not going to talk when he's in here. That's my right as the head coach. I don't have to talk to him, and I don't have to talk to him when he's in here. So what we're going to do, all you TV guys, I'm going to do a personal interview with you in this other room. And the writers that are still left in here, I'll come back here and talk with you right after that. We'll do individual interviews with all you TV guys, okay? Everybody 4 days, all right? And what room we got? Media room, okay? Yeah. Bring your cameras on down here. Let's do some one-on-one. Okay? Okay, Lynn? All right. Be back a little bit.
Now that seems to be merely identical to which where you guys are seeing Coach Prime say some of the similar things about Sean Keeler, where he's the coach of the football team, and some along those lines. This guy took a lot of personal shots. He just didn't want to deal with him in particular. He let it be known that he didn't care about answering questions, even if guys was giving some pushback about the way he's running the program. But when you're taking personal attacks consistently and giving no reason why he didn't want to speak to him, those Steve Spurrier not getting the same criticism Coach Prime did. We just gonna talk about Stephen A. Smith and what he have going on. Now, Stephen A. Smith, here's your contradiction. Now, Jason Whitlock is a guy that I personally don't care about, but let's see the way you handled Jason Whitlock when he was taking personal attacks at you and the things you had to say.
By this particular writer, so you know how I must feel that you betrayed me. Did you tell the folks that? You bitch. Did you tell them? You fat piece of shit. Did you tell him that? On the time, I actually tried to speak up for this damn cretin. I knew he was a piece of shit. You know what's out there writing stuff, smiling in my face 1 minute, talking smack about me behind my back, and then ultimately writing it? It was him.
Smiling in my face 1 minute, talking smack about me behind my back, and then
Ultimately writing it? It was him. He is the worst, most despicable, lying, no good, fat ass human being I have ever known in my life.
Now, Stephen A., that is you and what you feel about a person that you felt as though was writing personal attacks about you. And you guys seen the way he handled it. And at the end of the day, to make it more, to spice it up even more, it's just a short list of things. I could have really put a lot more together. But Stephen A. Smith, you in particular said this guy and Jason Whitlock was writing things about you. And that's how you respond, by calling him a fat B, amongst some other things. And all Coach Prime simply did was said he didn't want to speak to the guy anymore. Or furthermore, he said, I want to know what make you feel this way so we can figure this thing out, because it's not normal. He was very respectful to the guy versus the way you handle it in particular. And outside that, Stephen A. Smith, you kind of going to war or battle or speaking in defense of a guy that, in your words, you said you don't even know much about the guy. You didn't even do your due diligence to figure out the through line of who we talking about. Like, comment, subscribe, turn that post notification bell on to all of you guys agree with me. Thank you so much.
Can't then turn around because of a columnist who's been considered somebody. I don't know Mr. Keeler at all. I don't know much about his work. Sean Keeler for the Denver Post.